You always give it your fucking all. You always come through with all your passion. Like, I've had so many fucking shows where I perform for nobody. I close my eyes, pretend that I'm just rocking the fucking stadium, dude, and I just get so into it. Everybody feeling today. Yo, first of all, I just want to say much love to everyone here. You guys are dope. And major respect to my dude, Ivy, bro. This shit is dope, though, man. Like, for real, the shit that you guys are bringing to the scene nowadays is so dope to see cats like Ivy putting shit like this on so we can all learn from each other and help each other grow. That's what's up. I come here humbly as a student more than a teacher, so I'm eager to learn from all of y'all. I think all of us have a lot of value that we could provide to each other. Stories are the most inspiring way to like influence people rather than you should do this, you should do that. It's just like, here's what I did, here's what works for me. If you can take any insight from that, then that's dope as fuck. And then I'm excited to learn from all of y'all too. So just by a show of hands, who here is an artist? Pretty much everyone. All right. By a show of hands, who here has already performed before? Cool, most of y'all have already performed. Who's been paid to perform before? Okay, a good percentage of y'all, that's what's up. It's good to see everybody out here doing their thing. And just a little bit about myself. I started out in like 2009 is when I released my first shit. I didn't know any connections. I had zero. They say it's all about who you know, but I didn't know anybody. You know what I mean? You get to know those people by the value that you provide to them and just being your authentic self. That's how you get to know people. Nobody starts out with connections really. So like, when I first started, I literally didn't know a single person that had ever played a show before. I didn't know anyone that had ever made a beat before. I didn't know anybody that owned a fucking microphone. I didn't know anybody that had recorded themselves. So like, I literally started as naive as possible, and I wish I would have had like more help to get me started when I came in the game. But things are different now. It's more accessible. It's 8 or 9 years later now. It's so easy. Anyone could have a recording studio in their crib for like a couple $100. So there's no excuse not to have that anymore. And like with YouTube tutorials, there's no excuse for all of us not to be learning everything we can. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know how hard it was to find like a beat making tutorial in 2008?
Crazy though.
It was.
Yo, on that note, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Chill.
How many of y'all just like started rapping to like Dilla instrumentals and Primo instrumentals and shit like that? Like I started rapping to like instrumentals from like YouTube producers that are like 50,000 just for the beat, you know what I'm saying? Or 15,000 just for the beat. Like that's one of those things that was definitely hard to find. Like first rap, I remember like first year on the scene, I was like, yo, by this time next year, I'm gonna have artists out here sending me beats instead of just like rapping over Ninth Wonder beats all the damn time.
Yeah,
you know
I wrote my first handful of tracks to Ninth Wonder beats.
Yeah, right, me too.
I didn't even know who Ninth Wonder was. I just found him and I was like, holy shit, these beats are tight. I write songs to him and then someone clowned me when I was like, hey, that's a Ninth Wonder beat. That's not yours. And I was like, So I started making my own beats. I started teaching myself how to just put together shitty beats so I had something to rap over out of necessity. And now it's dope because there's just so many talented producers out here. There's hella talented producers in this room right now. Yeah. And it fucking blows my mind, like the talent level in Salt Lake. One cat sitting right here, Malev Deshadobi, has been in the game just as long as I have, and him and I kind of came up together. So basically how I got started when I had zero connections is I first started going to open mic nights because I was just hungry to perform, hungry to get out there. I didn't wait for anybody to hand me shit. I didn't wait for any opportunities. I didn't wait for magical marketing fairies to drop out of the sky and put me on. I just started going to open mics because I just wanted to perform so fucking bad.
You got a name of a couple good open mic nights for those who haven't performed in here?
Yeah, so one that I used to frequent is every Sunday at the Greenhouse coffee shop, Greenhouse Effect.
Yup, that's one of my first experiences too.
Yeah, dude, that's what's up. So open mics, if you go to like openmic.org or something, it has a list of open mics around the whole fucking country, and there's like 20 in every city at least, almost every fucking day. So I had a homie from San Jose, he just did an open mic tour. He toured the entire United States just playing open mics. And he reached out to these open mics in advance and said, I have a little bit more of a featured set when we come through instead of just doing like the one song or whatever. So he set that up, passed out donations, sold merch, did that, and that's how they survived. And they filmed the whole thing, and they're making a documentary on it. So there's lots of ways to get out there and tour. Even if you don't have any connections or anyone to put you on, you can do open mics. So I started doing open mics. I built myself like a little buzz in the city, and that is what attracted me to like start getting on real shows. And then just like people seeing me at the open mic, bringing my fans, like bringing my homies. Like I'd bring 40 homies to come watch me perform one song, and then people that own those venues and hosted those open mics were like, damn, yo, you should do your own show here. So
that's a lot of coffee buyers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like they get a little tiny coffee shop, you bring 40 homies through, you kind of make an impact with, you kind of make a statement by doing that. So that's kind of how I got started. Then I got a little showcase with my dude Malev. We got to play Kilby Court, and it was like 10 artists, different genres got to perform, and like 1 or 2 of them were gonna get signed to Spy Hop, which is like a local youth organization, record label type thing, and it's pretty dope what they're doing. So we kind of signed like this little record deal thing with Spy Hop, and started working with them. And then I realized like I could just throw my own shows. I'm bringing a bunch of people here. I wonder how much it costs to rent the venue. So I hit up Kilby Court, and I was just like, yo, how much does it cost to rent out the space? I think I could bring a bunch of people, and they ended up letting me do a show. We sold out a few local shows with local lineups. I made a good relationship with that venue and with those promoters, and then they saw me bringing a lot of heads out, so they started giving me more opportunities. Because ticket sales really are everything. It really doesn't fucking matter how dope you are when it comes to getting on shows. It helps if you're dope, but if you can sell tickets, that's why cats that aren't dope will get on way sick shows, because they can sell tickets, you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's a business, and the promoters and the venues are just trying to run a profitable business themselves. And it costs money to have a venue, it costs money to run shows, so like an artist that can sell 100 tickets might be more valuable than someone that can just spit tight bars but only brings one friend. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's really about learning sales, learning marketing, learning how to push yourself. And if you believe that your craft is dope and that your show is worth paying for, then you owe it to yourself to learn sales and learn marketing and get out there and sell those tickets. Like, I truly believe that my performance was worth way more than the $5 that the ticket was costing them, so I had no problem going out and hustling those, going up to everyone, going in the streets, giving out demos at Twilight concerts back when it was at Gallivan. I'd burn up like 100 blank CDs and give them out. Nowadays, you probably have to do flash drives because people don't have CD players, but...
No, I just saw Dennis Bush just walking with a bunch of CDs real quick. You already know he's about it.
What up, Dennis?
That's the big part about being an artist that I have noticed, though, is you got to do a lot of side research if you want to try to grow this shit, because there is a lot to know. Like, just the paper, just a pen on the pad, that's only paper thick when it comes to just like how you build your artistry, how you build your name across like the whole platform. I do have a list of venue owner like email addresses and shit across this city. If you guys are looking to set up your own shows, like Burnell said, which is, again, tying back to what I said earlier, and like my statement is just like, I started throwing my own shit. I started getting pictures of these shows and content and building all that up. That created a press kit. I was able to send that to other venue owners. They're like, all right, cool, come set your spot up here, you know what I'm saying? And so...
1000%. And just to add to that, like, supporting other people is one of the best ways to get supported. So the fact that you guys are showing up here, taking time out of your day,
beautiful.
That's what's up. That's how you're gonna get shows. You guys are already on the right fucking track by doing that. People always ask me to perform Hip Hop Roots, and they never fucking come to Hip Hop Roots ever. They're not ever there, and then they hit me up, yo dude, put me on Hip Hop Roots, fam. And I tell them the same thing every time. Come through and support, come hop on the open mic, and meet me in person, and we'll get you on, because if I don't know you exist, I can't put you on. And if you're not showing support and showing engagement within the community, then maybe you don't deserve to be put on as much. So like everyone here that's supported this event, I know all of us can't come out to everything. We all got tons of shit going on in our personal lives. But if you could really make it a habit to try to support as much as you can. Like, I wanted to be lazy and go just like do some other shit today, but I know I have massive respect for everyone here. I have massive respect for Ivy. So like, I got off my lazy ass and I came down here to try to build with some of y'all and see if I could learn something, see if I could help a few people. And doing that is like gonna get me more shows. It's gonna create reciprocity. All of you guys are gonna wanna fuck with me more just because I came here today. If I would have just stayed at home, you guys might not know who I am or have assumptions about me or whatever, but like coming out here and getting to meet some of y'all might like strengthen our bond and our connection.
You get to shake hands with them, you know what I'm saying? That's the best part.
I used to go to every fucking hip hop show, every music show, period, like every day, just to try to talk to people, hang out, meet people, give out demos, give out stickers, do whatever I could, try to provide value. And like, if no one knows who you are and you're trying to get on shows, you gotta first like just make yourself known by providing them value. Go hang up posters for other promoters and venues. Hit up people that are already throwing dope shows and say, hey dude, I wanna help you promote. And if they see you just putting in work and trying to support their cause, they're gonna feel reciprocity, which is just a natural human tendency to wanna give back to people that have helped you. So if someone's helping me hang up posters and promoting the fuck out of my shit, like I'm just already looking for ways to try to give back to them because I'm grateful and I'm like, damn, this dude I didn't even know just offered to hang up posters and he's promoting my show and doing all this shit. Like, that's what's up. So when he asked me to get on a slot, of course I'm gonna give it to him. So that's a really good way. Just providing value, reaching out to people, and then asking is like one of the most underestimated powers in all of humanity. I swear to God, people just don't ask for what they want. They're upset. I see people complaining, I'm not getting opportunities. No one's putting me on, no one's fucking with me. And it's like, how many times have you really asked? You know what I mean? You're either not asking enough, you're not asking properly, or you're not asking the right people. So like literally, there's people in this room that you can ask, hey, do you got any shows coming up I could be a part of? You have a show that I can help you do some posters for? Yo, do you got anything you're working on that I could provide some value? Or you need any graphic design work? Just ask people for ways you could provide them value, and then you're gonna get connected with them in that way. So
that was the biggest thing I was saying in the first of my closed mouths do not get fed. If you guys aren't saying anything, there's too much shit going around in the city right now for us to really, you know, help put in, build a ship. Let's sail that shit right to like a successful show, you know what I'm saying? That's the best part about it.
Yeah, sail straight to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yo, but for real, like there's so much power in this room right here. Just like the amount of talent and skills and connections. With the 6 degrees of separation, we know every fucker on earth in this room.
Yeah.
So like all of us together could do some serious damage if we look at each other as like family and look at each other as like support rather than competition. It's not about who's tighter than who or who knows who or whatever than that. Like we all have value to provide. We're all equal. There's not a single person that's above or below another person in this room, and we all got each other's back. And if we look at each other with collaboration mindset rather than competition mindset, I think we're all gonna do a lot better. It's good to have a little healthy competition, like Zach Ivy going on tour with Zion I Perceptionist. I'm like, motherfucker, why wasn't I on that tour? I need to step my bars up. I need to get my shit, because next time, I'm gonna be the one going on motherfucking tour, yo. and then he's gonna outdo me, and then we're gonna keep pushing each other up. So the friendly competition is good, but the ego competition is bad, you know what I'm saying? So like, collaboration is the way that we all succeed. And that brings me to like the next little piece that I want to talk about is how do you take the local shows up a notch? How do you start getting on bigger and better shows? How do you start getting paid more for shows? How do you start getting out there, out of Salt Lake, out of Utah, into other states and stuff? Because that's where I really found a lot of my success, is when I started touring and stuff like that. And like, it's just crazy how inaccessible it seemed to me, especially starting out in Salt Lake. Not knowing anyone, like I didn't know anyone out of state, period. And now I have friends in all 50 states and all sorts of countries, and I got places to stay wherever I go, because I first started out by leveraging my influence here in Salt Lake and using that as a platform to build my name outside of the state. And what that means is I basically built myself up enough to where I could provide people value in Salt Lake by throwing shows, by being able to put other people on, by being able to create an influence and a following that other people wanted to be a part of. So then I wasn't just asking people from California to put me on for no reason. I was show trading. I was first giving them shows here.
Yeah.
I'd give someone 3 good Salt Lake shows before I ever asked them to put me on in their city. You know what I'm saying? I provided the value first and showed them that I was able to help them out here. And then I became known as like one of the go-to guys in Salt Lake. If you're underground hip hop and you're trying to tour and you're coming through Utah, period, you're gonna want to hit up Burnell. You're gonna want to hit up Hip Hop Roots because they're gonna be able to get you a poppin' show. They have the right demographic. They have a following of hip hop heads that'll support you and shit. So I started doing that, providing value for others, and that gave me some leverage to be able to say, hey, I can get you in Salt Lake. I can get you a show in Provo. I can get you a show in Ogden. I could get you a show with these other places, and then I had the power to go ask them, hey, can you put me on in San Jose? Hey, you got it. I saw you got that show coming up next month in LA. I was wondering if I could maybe get a 5-minute slot to come do 2 songs.
Well, one of the big things I noticed too is like going out to like some of these states in like, let's say Phoenix or San Jose, and I actually did hear like Burnell's name often, you know, outside of the states, and that's the thing is like, if it's kind of quid pro quo at this point. You know, I'm not one of those artists that's like, yo, I'm gonna show up to your city and sell 300 tickets. You know what I'm saying? But I am one of those artists where if you come out here and want to do a show, I know I can sell 300 tickets at home. You know what I'm saying? And like
100%.
Yeah,
That's the
and
leverage.
eventually you build that platform to where it's like, yo, it's beneficial for you to come out here and work with me. So make it beneficial for me to come out there and work with you. You know, and it comes in due time. Like I said, I'm 3 years on the scene. You know, coming into my 3rd summer, been rapping since 2011, been loving rap since 3rd grade, but I really got on the scene as of 3 years ago. And so if it's not happening within 1 year of you stepping actually on the scene, being
L is not for loss, it's for learning. You know what I'm saying? And I like to add to that and say no doesn't mean no, it means next. So if you ask someone to put you on and they don't want to fuck with you, don't just assume that person doesn't like me, they don't fucking respect me, fuck them or whatever. Just mean it's next, you know, it's not right now. Maybe they don't understand your value, you haven't communicated your worth well enough to them. Or maybe they're just sleeping on you and you gotta fucking make some more noise to wake them up. So people ask me all the time to get on Hip Hop Roots, and I get, most of the time it's like random motherfuckers that I've never heard of hitting me up. And very rarely do I just like throw them on right away. Like I usually say, come to the event, come support, come network with everyone, come hop on the open mic, do shit like that first, and just like build up your name and get your presence known. And like sometimes all it takes is like a 2-minute conversation. Like Dennis James, if he would have just hit me up on a Facebook message going, hey bruh, put me on, I would have just laughed and not responded to him. But like he showed up at the event. Yo, dude, I really want to talk to you, bro. And I was like, okay, what's up? And he's like, come here. Like, pulls me over. He's like, yo, dog, I hear you're like the guy that puts people on. And I was like, huh? And he's like, you like throw these shows and shit. You can put people on stage. And I was like, yeah, bro. And he's like, dog, I want to rap. Let me spit you some bars. I want to get on one of these shows. And he like spit some bars for me. He showed his hunger. And promoters and people that throw events, that's like one of the biggest things you can show them is that you are hungry and you're gonna do whatever the fuck it takes to get on their show and pop it off. And you're gonna grind hard and you're gonna take it seriously. And like his hunger spoke to me, and I was like, I literally called him up on stage like 5 minutes later. It was like, come spit. And it was just like the cypher and shit. But now next month he's got his own featured set, and he got known to me, showed that he was hungry, and I've given him some other opportunities. Like, how was that Token show the other day?
That Token show looked fat.
Dope.
That Token show looked fat. And not to mention he was tossing out free CDs to the whole crowd and shit too, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell you this, as far as me building my artistry, I've given out 2 free tapes and a whole bunch of free singles. I paid for music video after music video. I spent $750 alone on the Ghost beat that, you know, everybody that got around so well, you know. Thank you to everybody who like shared that shit, you know what I'm saying? But like, it takes some change to make some change. You want to buy a dope beat and shit, you know what I'm saying, from a producer or whatever, like, you don't be afraid to. Don't be afraid to go through, don't be afraid to hit up producers like Regular Ass Dude or like Burnell, you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to hit up.
Your producers, take pride in investing in yourself. Take pride in, like, it takes money if you want to make money in this shit. It takes money just to even, like, get out there. Like, when I first started, I remember like one of the first like bigger investments that I ever did was I took out $2,000 on a fucking student loan because I got a student loan. I signed up for some classes, and then if you drop them fast enough, you can get your money back, and then they'll give you like actual cash or whatever. So like, or like a check. And so I got that check, and I bought 2,000 copies of my album, got them printed up, and I gave out every single fucking copy for free. Just at I literally would put
That's giving back.
I would literally put a box here as I was performing, and I would just like throughout my set, come take free CDs if you're feeling the set. And then I'd stand outside the venue as everyone was leaving. Yo, you check out my. Anytime someone said dope set, brother, I'm like, dude, take a CD, take 3, take 4, give them to your homies. And like, I was blessed to be able to do that. I'm not saying like everyone can afford to go take out 2 G's, and I'm not saying everyone should go get themselves into debt. But if you believe in yourself enough, you do whatever the fuck it takes to get your shit out there.
That's way too true, man. On top of that, you know, perform every set like there's a million fucking people in front of you, and I can't really stress that enough. Going on tour with Zion 9 with the Perceptionist really humbled me because the very first stop we hit was Missoula, Montana, right? And it's like, you know, the first show on tour, we've driven up here. Oh my God, tell mom we've done it. I step up on stage, there's not a single fucking person on the floor, you know what I'm saying? And that hasn't happened to me in a minute because like out here, like it's one of those things where I built that kind of fan base out here, right? And so I step up on stage out of state, and it really humbles me to where like I'm not fucking shit, bro. I rented the van, we drove all the way out here, and I step on stage and there's nobody, and I got super emotional because I saw everybody, if that makes sense. It was kind of one of those things where I was up on stage, the beat was playing, I was rapping, and I just picked a spot on the floor, it was like a full fucking house. It was like I was playing at like a Twilight series, you know what I'm saying? It was like I sold out a fucking arena, and like I had an instance at a last show that I did with Marlon Craft, you know, and Marlon Craft is he's doing it on social media really big, you know. I see a lot of his videos with like nearly 1 million views. He's literally just rapping in his mic stand, in his little like backdrop foam, you know what I'm saying? And like, he does his thing, his shit gets around, it gets shared. He just barely booked his first headliner tour, which he also said was his first tour, which is fucking sick because your first tour is your headliner tour. He came out here and it wasn't like a super big crowd compared to like what he does on social media, if that makes sense. So I'm up there, right? I'm rapping my ass off like I always do. I felt like it was one of my stronger sets, for sure. You know, I've had weak sets and I've had stronger sets. And if you do have a weak set, you come back the next time you do it way harder. And I'm sitting there, I'm spitting my fucking ass off. I get off stage, this dude's just walking around chilling with glasses. And he's like, yo, good set, man. I'm like, oh, word, thanks. You know, all my shit's free. If you want it, you can find it on my SoundCloud. I appreciate it. And a lot of people are like coming up to me saying, hey, good shit. Like homies that I've had. Good job. And so I kind of like brushed dude off, you know, not necessarily like brush him off, but it was just like one of these things where like I was just like, oh, thanks, man. Hey, all of it's free. Just letting you know, like you can find it on anything. And I was like, but I'm getting out of here. So, and like I'm sitting there talking, and another friend of ours goes, yo, that's One Below from Binary Star right there, who just dapped you up on your show. And like didn't even fucking know this was. I was like, oh man. I was like, I had to tell him, I was like, yo, I didn't mean to just like shoot any disrespect to you, but like you never know. Small show, big show, 1 million people, 15 people. One Below might be standing in the back for Binary Star being like, yo, that was a good shit, you know, and like he's done his damn thing, and you're just like, oh, sick. Like I gave it to those 15 motherfuckers standing in front of me so raw that even One Below was like, hey, good set, you know what I'm saying? So always, just spill your fucking heart out, you know, just like you do on the page, spill your heart out on the stage, you know. That's a big thing that I've seen like work.
Facts. And speaking of One Below, that dude is a real one. He performed my birthday party for free, so I just want to say shout out to One Below.
Shout out to One Below for real.
He just loves rapping. He had not only performed for free, but he sat there and freestyle with all the homies for like 2 or 3 hours straight.
Yo, I heard he lives in Cairo too, so he came over from Egypt
to Salt Lake and like caught a show and was just like, you know, what up, Burn? I'm down to show some love at your event.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He hollered at me the other day. He wants to come back through, so we should set it up.
I'm down.
But just to add to something he just said about like performing your ass off regardless of the amount of people in the crowd, you never know who those people might be in the crowd. Like, so whether it's 2 people or 2 million people, you always give it your fucking all. You always come through with all your passion. Like, I've had so many fucking shows where I perform for nobody. I close my eyes, pretend that I'm just rocking the fucking stadium, dude, and I just get so into it. And I just look at it as practice. But you never know, like, if all of a sudden this sound guy was the only one there, but he loved your shit and he's connected with some other people and he ends up showing his homie your shit or whatever. Like, one little story that happened with me on that is I played this festival, and on Saturday night I had played for like 5,000 people, this big ass crowd, opening for Charlie Tuna, and it was super hype, and I just had like the time of my life. And then the next day I was scheduled to perform again on the smaller stage at like 2 p.m. and there was like no one there. A lot of people had already started going home. There was literally like 2 people. There was like the sound engineer and 2 people just kind of standing there chilling. And I almost was on some ego shit, like I don't need to perform. There's only 2 people. I performed 5,000 people last night. I'm not even gonna do this set, whatever. And then I was like, man, fuck it. I just like rap, and I don't care if anyone's watching me. Like, it's always good to practice like spitting on a mic on a stage with good speakers and shit either way. So like, I got up there and I just killed it, and like, mind you, the 2 guys that were standing there did not look like they were into hip hop at all. They looked like fucking golfers or like polo players or some shit. You know what I mean?
Like they paid 35 a gram, alright?
Yeah, so like they did not look like hip hop at all. I wasn't really trying to win them over. I just like spit my art with every ounce of passion that I had in my soul. And the craziest thing that happened was one of the dudes comes up to me right after I performed and he's like, yo, bro, your music is amazing. I saw you perform last night for the big crowd, and I saw you perform just barely. And dude, I liked your set just barely even better. It was like more intimate. And man, you're fucking so dope, dude. I live down in Page, Arizona, and I would love to bring you out there sometime. I'd love to like help you set up some shows down there. So I was like, word. And then a few months later, I went down to Page, Arizona. He brought me out, paid us like $1,000. Got us set up with like 2 or 3 dope ass shows. I played on a pontoon boat. I played at a bowling alley. They took us on slot canyon tours at Lake Powell, like set us up in this like mansion and shit to stay at, and it was crazy. Had I not performed my ass off for those 2 people, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. And since then, I've gone back to Page several times and have a good little following there. And it just goes to show how like you never know who one of those 2 people might be. So give it your all no matter what you're doing. They say how you do one thing is how you do all things. So just put your all and put your passion and your soul and your authenticity into every fucking thing you do, and you're always gonna win. So that's all I really had to say for y'all today. If anyone has any questions or things they want to talk about, chop it up. I'll be chilling. So I'm accessible. You can hit me up online. If we're not already friends on social media and shit, make sure to hit me up, and let's keep building. The next show coming up for Hip Hop Roots is November 24th for the Black Friday show. It's gonna be super dope. The lineup is ill, and we have open mic ciphers and all that shit. So if you want to get on our events, the best thing to do is just come, make your presence known there, say what up to us, come spit some freestyle.